The facts of the matter are these. On midnight of September 6th, the accused entered the bunk site of their troopmate. While he was sleeping, they placed his right hand into a glass of warm water. He then woke up, wherein they proceeded to perpetrate the giving of a wedgie, and then suspended him from a flagpole, whereupon they commenced taunting him and calling him Skid Mark Santiago. He then fainted, fell off the pole, and skinned his knee.
Thanks for staying up later. Ben Stiller is here. He is the star and the mastermind behind the Ben Stiller Show on Fox TV on Sunday nights. Now, talk about a double-edged sword. This thing has gotten unbelievable critical response. I was just reading a thing in Entertainment Weekly that evaluated whether these various stars of show business were worth it, whatever mega millions they got, and Entertainment Weekly says, hey, if it was simply a matter of entertainment value, Ben Stiller would be the highest paid man on television.
Right,
now,
but it isn't.
That's part A. Part B is, this show is damn close to the bottom in the ratings, right?
Real low. Usually we're hovering down. It depends how Likely Suspects does on Fox, which is another one of their...
and more or less monopolizes the second division, as we say in baseball, right?
Yeah, we're way down there, but it's also strange because our time slot, we never really got a great time slot. We started off against 60 Minutes, so that was, you know, forget that. And then we got to 10:30 on Sunday nights in the East, which, you know, you're getting the second half of the Amy Fisher, whichever Amy Fisher story happens to be on at the time. Or, you know, we're getting a lot of the affiliates that have local news. So it's been a weird place to be in because a lot of people have no idea the show exists. But it just kind of worked to our advantage in terms of what we can do on the show, too.
But wasn't it ever thus with great art? Labor in obscurity, receive the approval of the intelligentsia, and go begging for food.
Yes, right, whatever. It sounds good. I feel, yeah, we're like Vincent van Gogh. Someday people are going to find this thing and they're going to pay a lot of money for these video cassettes. I hope it's, you know, I hope there are people out there who you know, are appreciating it. I think there are. You know, we get letters like from these fanatical fans. Yeah. You know, and they're not like truckloads of letters, but they're a nice amount of, you know, letters, people who seem to watch a show. So.
Do you really think that, let's say, if you were on in prime time on one of the three major networks and had a larger audience, that you couldn't skewer people the way you do?
No, I just like to say that because it seems like there's a reason why we're not on at a certain hour, so there has to be some advantage to it. So, I mean, I don't know. I think we, in terms of like the network and the production company who, you know, oversee the show, I think they figure that not that many people are going to see it. So they won't make us take something out. But we do get censored every once in a while.
What's something that you wanted to do and they wouldn't let you do?
Well, we did a takeoff on Melrose Place in Beverly Hills 90210 called Melrose Heights 902102457 and we did one or two of them, and then the word came down from Spelling that he wasn't happy about it.
They're young. They're cool. They've got style, and they should have graduated from high school years ago. They're the kids of Melrose Heights, 90210-2402. Meet Devin, handsome, attractive, and good-looking. He's almost got it all. Britain, she's beautiful, pretty, and gorgeous. And she's got Devin. Tank, Britton's older brother and Devin's best friend. He's just as attractive as Devin, only with slightly different sideburns. They're not as pointy. Vaughn, a sassy, impish prankster with a twinkle in his eye and a secret. And Akeem, the black guy.
And this is a case of biting the hand, right? Because these are Fox shows.
Yeah, and I thought, you know, well, who are they going to listen to? This guy, Aaron Spelling, who has these big hit shows, or me, who, you know, makes probably no money for the network. So, of course, we stopped doing.
You know, I think this tradition of pluralism dates to the Mod Squad.
Yes.
Remember the cut line on the Mod Squad? One black, one white, one blonde.
That's right, yeah. It's pretty, I don't think it's really, you know, Aaron Spelling is I don't want to bash Aaron Spelling.
Actually a nice man.
Is he?
I've met him, I've spoken with him. He's very, very gracious and nice.
Yeah, so, you know, we just wanted to have a little fun, and, you know, I guess I don't even know if he ever saw it or anything. I think he just heard, in fact, I think he just heard that we were talking about doing it.
Maybe he heard about it from Tori Spelling.
Yeah, well, we didn't go after Tori. Another show went after Tori personally, and we didn't do that. I thought it was most of our, takeoffs and parodies are kind of just tributes, really, to the to the people who were making fun of.
Was it a tribute to Tom Cruise?
Yeah, it was, well, the Tom Cruise, piece was, look, he's a huge star. The guy he's a very nice guy, and it just was good-natured. I thought it'd be funny to see Tom Cruise doing a one-man show on Broadway, something you'd probably never, ever see him do. So, and, see him singing a couple of songs, do a little dancing.
And reprising bits from movies.
Yes.
Minus all the co-stars.
Exactly, one-man shows.
Face it! Here's your lousy war!
Thank you.
Tom cruises down Broadway.
Did you get any feedback from him or anybody else?
Actually, I did meet Tom recently, and he hadn't seen the takeoff, but he was really gracious about it, and he was willing. He wanted to see it. In fact, he thought it was at a dinner, and he thought that I had the tape with me, and he was saying, "Come on, let's go look at it." And of course, I'm the chicken. I didn't bring it with me. There's no way I was going to sit there and watch me, making fun of him. But he was really nice about it, but he hasn't seen it, so. I don't know what he'd be like afterwards. We heard from U2, because we did a couple of things with U2. We did U2 hosting a late night talk show, kind of like late night Tonight Show type of thing, called Zoo TV Late at Night kind of thing.
Sinead O'Connor was in that, right? Sinead O'Connor Takeoff, right? And
actually, that was a different one. That was a Tonight Show host auditions.
Oh, yeah, a manic Jay Leno running from stage to desk. And
yes, that was our executive producer, Judd Apatow, doing Jay.
I tell a joke. That's all I do. I tell jokes. I don't do the tea time theater. I'm just, I tell jokes. On the home front. Did you read the paper today? I mean, this is what I do. It's pretty simple, really.
What do you know about suffering? Your whole life is frivolous and petty. You spend your whole day worrying about whether one of your tenants is gay.
It's just a part I play.
A part you chose to play, sir.
Where is Johnny?
Johnny quit the show. I'm trying to get his job here, Norman. Help me out.
The job is open?
There's no host. The job is open.
We just kind of picked like weird people who would audition to be the host of the Tonight Show. But the U2 piece we did U2 doing a commercial for Lucky Clover's cereal. We couldn't say Lucky Charms, so we did Lucky Clover's. And the idea was that they took the song One and turned it into a jingle for the cereal.
One bowl won't be enough. One box, you eat it right up. For the fun and so delicious. Essential vitamins and they're magically nutritious.
And then there are ones that are just so obvious, I say to myself, why did you do this? Hasn't everyone thought of Eddie Munster as De Niro in Cape Fear?
That's what
Can't you come up with anything original?
Is that strange? I don't know. I don't know. That actually came out of the fact that we wanted to do something about Eddie Munster. And everybody wants to do something about Eddie Munster, right?
Of course,
yeah. So,
it's been done to us fairly well.
Right. Also, how do you do De Niro and kind of give it a little spin? So, I don't know, De Niro in the Eddie Munster Wolf Boy outfit coming on to Juliette Lewis seemed like it would be interesting to try.
My parents just don't understand, and they're just like fighting all the time. And
I know. My daddy was a 10-foot Frankenstein freak with bolts in his neck. Hey, listen to this. It'll make you feel better.
And did the legendary Butch Patrick weigh in with a point of view about this?
I actually got a call from Butch that I have not returned yet, okay? Now, I don't know if he just got out of I don't know if he was incarcerated or not. I'm not making this up. But I heard
it'd be a good thing if he wasn't, just to speculate about it on the air.
Right.
And kind of slander the guy.
Libelous? Nah, no. But apparently he he did call. He called up, and I haven't talked to him. But we did a thing on this guy Tony Robbins, Personal Power. Do you know who he is?
Oh, the real estate guy,
yes,
right?
Right. Yeah, he's like a millionaire, and he's got white teeth, and I think he's like 6'8".
He talks to Fran Tarkenton.
Right. He talks to Fran Tarkenton about expanding personal power.
People come up to me on the street all the time and say, "How dare you take money from hundreds of thousands of people and promise to make them happy?" And I have to laugh, because wasn't it worth taking all that money if I can make just one person happy, even if that one person is me?
We did a really I thought it was kind of a searing piece on him, and I got a letter from him actually a couple of weeks ago saying how much he enjoyed it, and how he said, "Well, incredibly humbled, I found the piece very entertaining." And he sent me a copy of his book, Awaken the Giant Within, and he told me to live with passion. Signed, Anthony Robbins. He gave me a little autographed copy. So that was, it was nice. I mean, it's actually nice because I thought I was going to get, if anything from him, I would get a notification from his lawyer. And it,
3, Gate River Run.
And we're back with Ben Stiller. If someone asks the question, okay, where'd this guy come from? I guess the literal answer is Stiller and Mira.
yes. Yeah, those are my parents.
What kind of childhood does that add up to?
I don't know. People ask that a lot of me, and I don't know what to say, because it's the only childhood I really knew. It was fun sometimes. My parents were on the road a lot. They would go to California to work. We grew up in New York. They never moved out to L.A. So they go to Vegas a lot. They go on tour doing summer stock in the summertime. Mm-hmm. So there were celebrities who came in and out of our lives, and friends with my parents. But it's really tough to say if it was how different it was than a normal upbringing, because I really never had that.
Somebody told me to ask you about the bar mitzvah story.
The bar mitzvah story.
Did somebody show up at your bar mitzvah that was...
Gosh, boy. Well, Warner Wolf was at my bar mitzvah. Do you know who he is?
Of course I know who Warner Wolf is. Let's go to the videotape.
That's right. Yeah, he was a New York sportscaster. I'm not sure if he's still on in New York, but
he's in Washington.
Yeah, he was great, but for some reason my dad was at my bar mitzvah, and my dad was hanging around in the back. Warner Wolf just kind of came in and watched me while I was doing the Haftorah, and just was checking it out, and then he, I don't know, he gave a thumbs up to my dad or something and left. He didn't stay for the party. I mean, that's the only bar mitzvah story I can remember.
All right, so maybe I've been led astray, but I can get this back on track. Okay. Where does Andy Kaufman come into all this?
Okay, Passover.
Ah, there we go.
With the Jewish theme.
Exactly. I knew it was some big event in a young Jewish lad's life.
That's right. He would come over. He came over, I guess, one Passover. I think he was with Elaine Boozler at the time.
Yeah.
And I was really young, but I don't really have that much of a memory of it. I remember he asked for a peanut butter sandwich while everybody was eating the egg and the parsley and the shank bone. He wanted a peanut butter sandwich. And then he went to look for the afikomen and never came back, which is the little piece of matzah that Jewish people hide for fun.
Who taught you to swim?
The Pips.
I didn't know that answer. I just thought a good question to ask would be, who taught you to swim?
As in Gladys Knight. And, I mean, I don't really remember that one that much either, except just being in a pool with 3 black guys around me, being very nice, kind of, holding me up and helping me to kick.
Where was this?
This was at in the pool of the Bali High Motel in Las Vegas. Yeah, I mean, it was one of these experiences that they're kind of like, you know, it's almost like family lore more than, you know, actual remembrances of these things.
What sort of response do you get now from your mom and dad to your work?
Well, when I'm talking to them. No, just kidding. We get along really well.
I was alarmed there. I don't need this kind of show business angst.
They're really supportive. They're really great. I mean, they love the show. They, you know, they don't always get everything because, I mean, a lot of people don't always get everything on the show. That's why, you know, we're 92, I guess, in the ratings. But no, they're great. They love watching. I guess they're not the type of parents who are really hard on us in terms of like, you know, you can do it better, you can do it better. They're kind of very supportive, loving parents who, I think they know all the tough, this business can be so tough that they kind of just want to be supportive, which is great. I mean,
you know, as I think of this next thing.
Except when you read like a really horrible review of your show, and you go, but Mom and Dad never said it was gonna, they said I was great.
The critics have mostly been very nice to you though, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, they've been great. I mean, you know, without the critics, I don't think we'd, you know, be around as long as we've been around even.
You know, I just thought of another thing, and I think this was on Saturday Night Live, a film short, The Hustler of Money.
Yes, yeah.
This Tom Cruise is a thread that runs through your life. It's bordering on obsession, as I see it.
Tom Cruise and Jewish events in my life are a thread that kind of, not that we've ever put the two together, but yeah, we did. The first thing I ever did was a takeoff on The Color of Money, and it was actually a film that I made on my own, that I financed on my own, that was about bowling instead of pool. The movie was about pool, you know, Paul Newman and Cruise. So I was doing this play called The House of Blue Leaves at the time, which was a play that was running on Broadway, and John Mahoney was in it, and Swoosie Kurtz, and Stockard Channing, and Julie Hagerty. Had this great cast, and we'd been doing it for about 9 months, and everybody was hanging out a lot. So I got this money together, and everybody said, yeah, we'll do a little part, and Danny Aiello did something in it. And I was able to sell it to Saturday Night Live, which was a really exciting thing, because, I mean, I didn't even think, you know, I didn't know what, I just kind of made the movie and said, okay, now what can we do with it?
Werewolf bringing a pina colada at Trader Vic's. His hair was purple.
It's like a nightmare, isn't it? It just keeps getting worse and worse.
See that? I just suckered that kid for $1.75. $1.75. $1.75. Well, we're going for $5. That kid's mother probably had a 10-spot in her purse. Kid, when are you gonna get it?
Hey, Eddie, what do you want from me, huh? I'm a bowler, Eddie. I'm a bowler, you know? And you know what? I'm an animal!
Assuming that the rest of the world doesn't get wise to this and the Ben Stiller Show doesn't become a top 10 show overnight, you got to assume, despite the notices, that it runs its course after a while. What do you think you'd like to do next?
I want to direct movies. That's like what I've always wanted to do. And it's kind of like the show has been this great training ground for all of us who've been working on it to make these little films every week. I mean, we have 4 days to shoot the show, and we just go off, and since the network hasn't really gotten into it too much, it's been a really great experience, because we just go off and say, okay, I'd like to do if you can do a takeoff on Martin Scorsese, it's a way of kind of learning how Martin Scorsese does what he does. I mean, if you can imitate him, then you can just learn a little bit about it. So it's kind of been like a little film school at the expense of the American public. But
what does Oliver Stone think of this little film school?
I have no idea. We did a piece called Oliver Stone Land, which was a commercial for a theme park, an amusement park, an imaginary theme park that Oliver Stone might open, that had rides based on all of his films. And I have heard no response from Oliver.
Like, didn't you get in a bathtub to experience what Jim Morrison experienced?
Yes.
You become depressed and anxiety-ridden in the bathtub?
Yeah, Mr. Morrison's Wild Ride.
That's all right. You can get on, you little lizard king. At Oliver Stone Land, we question authority. Each bathtub fits a family of 4. But beware, this ride may remove your will to live.
Bring on through! Bring on through! I am an Indian, but I also represent death. I am an Indian.
Now, wait a minute. There seems to me to be potential within this for yet another bit of Tom Cruise business. We're talking Born on the 4th of July now, right?
Actually, you're right. You know what? You're right. There is a little...
You're sick.
There is a little... I'm a Tom Cruise fixation.
I mean, this is getting to the point of Play Misty for me.
That's right. Tom, I'm watching you. It's the Born on the 4th of July bumper chairs.
Oh, that's tasteful.
Yes. Hey, I didn't write it, to tell you the truth. I came up with the idea, but I didn't write it. But I claim responsibility for it. Yeah, it's a, you know, bumper cars, wheelchairs.
90 solid seconds of clanking metal and bitter regret. I believe you need to ride this one a number of times to fully feel the frustration and anguish of the Vietnam vet. Hey, quit it! I'm gonna get you.
That piece, to me, is more like saying to someone like Oliver Stone that, you know, take yourself a little less seriously, in my view of watching what you do. You know what I mean? It's not, I'd never mean a piece like that to be, you know, to offend handicapped people or Vietnam veterans, because I feel like it's more saying, look at this guy who kind of takes his movies, he's a really skilled filmmaker who can totally manipulate you into thinking whatever you know, whatever he wants you to think. And he also takes himself really seriously. So if you can have fun with that and say, hey, you know, maybe lighten up a little bit, that's all that's about. I don't plan to be doing an Oliver Stone film as an actor in the near future after this.
This is an emergency alert. You must all band together and watch the Ben Stiller Show Sunday nights on Fox to save this classic bit of American television. If you don't, he'll have plenty of time to come back all he'd like in the future. See you later.